Alrighty, so today we have Jose Pena with us. He's been a SIFT user for a few years, I believe. Um, I got to meet Jose a couple years ago at our live SIFT Summit event, where we had a couple hundred investors from all around the country come in, and we had, live speeches from industry professionals, industry leaders, and Jose was one of the people that I met that was a SIFT user, and I got to interview him there, and he seemed like a good dude. And I've kind of kept track on his journey over the past couple years. Similar to me, he just had his first baby, and I see him holding his baby in the meetings and stuff. He's a part of Tyler's War Group, and I know he's an active wholesaler. I think flipper as well as he has some buy and hold rentals. So I just kind of want to have him on today and kind of talk about that journey and see what it's been like for you this past couple years after SIFT Summit, and just kind of learn about your SIFT journey and your real estate career.
For sure, for sure. Well, thanks for having me and inviting me. It's always great to talk with like-minded people, like yourself.
Yeah,
This great community, so it's good to hopefully give back something.
right, right.
Whether at least it's just 30 minutes of nonsense, but it's something.
Sure,
It's all
sure.
good. But yeah, I started investing in 2018. I started here. I'm local to Omaha. This is where I've been investing since I started. And my background, I was a software engineer. Still am, you could say that. But
I didn't
uh,
know that.
yeah. That's when I spoke with Tyler. I met him in Houston at a conference, Ricardo Rosales conference, I think that's his name.
Okay,
And we were talking about REI Sift because I mean, it's a great software, great product. I know he pays a lot of attention to the back end, the front end, so I can appreciate that as a full stack developer myself.
sure.
But yeah, I was doing software, I was doing real estate on the side. My main focus has always been buy and hold,
Okay,
so that's why what I started with. I started buying a couple of properties and doing my regular job 8 to 5, real estate investing from 5 to midnight, 1
yeah,
a.m.,
yeah.
2 a.m., putting in some sweat equity on these projects. Uh, and yeah, it's been a great ride. I did quit my job. When was it? I think it was December of 2021 when I quit my job. I built a good, decent portfolio of rentals that I felt that would give me that buffer
Sure.
to be able to go at this full time. I do sprinkle in some flips here and there. I
Okay.
do Airbnbs just to keep that cash flow coming in. I think I've only wholesaled like one property because like I said, my main focus has always been
Sure.
rentals. So whatever I find, I try to keep. And I wholesaled that one, which was like an hour and a half away from the house. So that's why I didn't want to be driving back and forth. But yeah, it's been a journey. I really enjoy REA Sift just because of how lean it is. Like you can start yourself making calls on the first day,
Yep.
which is awesome. That's what I really like and implement. I have the MVP mentality, the minimum viable product, kind of like
Okay.
what was the next step to get something to done, right?
Sure.
So a little bit of marketing, a little bit of appointments, a little bit of construction back end, all of that stuff to get us to the end goal, which is a tenant in a house, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, it's really enjoy, man.
You said the MVP method. What was? Explain that a little bit.
MVP, it's like minimum viable product. It's like what are the basic steps that you need to do in order to get to at least some kind of something done, right?
Sure.
So from my point of view on something like this, REASIF gives you that access to be able to keep that very simple, right?
Sure.
You you jump in there, you load some data, you call that data, you go to appointments, you put that stuff under contract, and then you figure stuff out as you go, right?
Right.
path of least resistance to get to a rental.
Okay.
And then you start adding on, you start bootstrapping stuff, plugging in different things, right? Like
Yeah.
different processes for your flips. But the thing is getting to that first one, right?
Right.
And then just
Okay.
processing.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, what makes a perfect rental situation for you? Like, what kind of data are you marketing to?
So for me, if I can burr out of it, that's it. That's it. My main focus is to be able to recycle my money, right? And it's not even my money, it's other people's money, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which is the best, which is the best. So I borrow the money. Um, what I do is I take a look at the house. I figure out what's the ARV, what's the construction budget for that, and basically it all has to be down to ARV times 75%, which is basically what the banks are financing right now,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
75 minus the construction, minus the lending costs of holding that money. And if I can burr out of it and have, 200, 300, $400 per month on that
Yeah.
property, I'm game because I'm playing the long game, right?
Sure.
I'm looking for appreciation, tax benefits, loan
Yep.
pay down, all of that good stuff.
Okay. And are you, you've been doing it for a while, so are you primarily private money at this point? Are you a little bit of everything, a little bit of hard money, a little bit of private money?
It's a little bit of everything, man.
Whatever you, whatever you can find.
Whatever I can find, I'm like penny pinching here and there,
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of I want to say it's like half private money and half hard money. But I got a great hard money connections here locally.
Oh,
They
nice. Nice.
Yeah, they're kind of like, hey, it's Jose. He'll make it work somehow.
Make it work. So,
Yeah, and they're just like, yep, here it is. So it's pretty simple, but as time has progressed, before I was asking for purchase price plus renovations,
okay.
so it's a little bit expensive, right? Now I'm to the point where I'm sometimes asking for 80% of the purchase price, no renovations, 100% of the purchase price, no renovations. So yeah, but with the amount of properties we've been putting under contract right now, it's crazy to be able to do this just with my own money. It's not possible right now.
Okay. Okay. So you're funding what you need to.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the
It's
deal
amazing.
volume's high for you right now?
Yeah. I bought several portfolios recently, man.
Really?
It's been crazy. It's been crazy. I bought a nine property portfolio back in October, then a 16 property portfolio at the end of October, then a 20 property portfolio. Um, it was split 10 properties and 10 properties in February and March. So we've been cranking through that.
Wow. Wow. And is that something you're targeting specifically as these portfolios?
So I was initially, and thankfully, people locally know that I've closed on these portfolios. I make it super easy for them. It's like I take care of the non-renewal notices to the tenants. So if, I'm the one that's throwing stuff on their mailbox and speeding away, putting that stuff on their door, and
Uh,
it's hectic. People don't want to go through that. And I tell my assistant and my wife, who is the ones that help me out on the property management side of things, like I give them a heads up. Things are gonna be freaking crazy this next week. We're gonna get a lot of hate calls, a lot of mad people calling us. So heads up, this is what you should respond with. This is what's we're putting out there, type of stuff. But that's why when people bring these portfolios to me, they know I take them with tenants.
mhm.
I do the renovations. Just make it as easy as possible for them.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sure. How did that go the first time you got that surge of upset
Um,
people? How many times? How many? Let me ask you this: how many times did it take before you realized, like, oh, I got to be prepared for this? Just once, or?
I've been buying with inherited tenants for a while, man. It's so I like even I want to say like 3 years ago, and it wasn't portfolios. It's you buy one with an inherited tenant, and then you give them the non-renewal, 30-day basically to get
Mhm.
out of the house. Which Nebraska is pretty. It's a pretty good state for that. Just give them 30 days if they're on a month to month, and that's it, right?
Sure.
So on that first one, it's like not enough time. Who do you think we are? You
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this is totally tough. And I understand their situation and I try to give them as much time as possible. But some of these deals, like for example, I try to structure them so that we close like on the 27th or 28th to be able to give them the 30-day notice. Uh,
Right.
and give them till the end of the next month.
Okay.
Which when I'm buying in these places, I am not expecting for the last month's rent. Like they're not gonna pay me. They're like, nope, you're not getting
Fair.
paid.
So does that
So
get factored into your purchase?
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
kind of like let those people, like the portfolio owners, know, like just a heads up, I have an assumption this is going to happen. That's kind of why I'm doing this. Okay.
Right. Yeah, yeah. And they know, like I tell them from the beginning that I'm trying to close before the end of the month because I'm trying to serve them notice. Because the thing for me is if I don't get in there as quick as possible to do the renovations, to do the value add and
Mhm.
force appreciation, then it's gonna take me longer, right, to be able to get um, refinance out of those properties. So
Okay.
every month for me is just money going to that hard money lender or that private money.
Right. Okay. And then just because I know you're a SIFT user, well, you said these portfolios, is this mostly word of mouth and inbound? Or are you owner records page type stuff, or how's that working?
It's a little bit of everything.
Okay.
So it has come through REA Sift,
Okay.
uh, going, for example, to the owner's side of
Sure.
things, right? You
Yep.
can filter by how many properties each person has, or you can say anybody locally that's not an LLC
Yep.
that has 10 to 20 properties, right?
Hmm.
Then I've been able to call those people and then
Okay.
just start building those connections, right? Like I think the first portfolio came um, through that process, and we're actually closing on two triplexes in like 3 weeks that came through that process too.
Okay. So then do these portfolio owners ever turn into like private lenders for you?
So that's the funny thing. Like, there's a guy that had a portfolio, but he's like, I'm never gonna sell. And I'm like, okay, that's perfectly fine. We can still, talk and all that stuff. And it's been good because I've actually helped that person see the other side of things of how I've
Ah,
been able to like raise the rents of each property that I buy. So he has done and then gone through that process because he sees me doing it and he's like, okay, I have a house close to yours. Mine is 900, yours is 1300.
yeah,
No, and then he eventually became a private money lender,
sure. Yeah.
so that's the nice side of things too. You never
Yeah, that
know. And
yeah.
my mentality is always, best foot forward with everything. I met with this guy, I showed him some stuff. Funny thing is I actually took him to the REISF summit because as a war member, I think you get an extra
Uh,
ticket.
okay, I think I vaguely remember him.
Yeah,
What was his yeah. Yeah, I remember him.
Juan,
Yep, yep, yep.
short dude, but very
Yep.
freaking active. He's always.
Yep, yep, yep.
But yeah, he's a great guy. Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool. That's
Yes.
funny how that works. How has your ability to have the conversation with potential new private lenders kind of progressed over the years? I mean, what have you found to be a way to make it a more comfortable situation for you, maybe not an awkward one for them? Like, how does that kind of thing go?
So to me, is they see me active in the community.
You just got the reps. Yeah,
The
you see
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
the proof.
the local meetups, man, it's super important to attend those.
Okay.
So it's like when I'm walking into that, I'm like, hey, how's it going? Hey, like,
Hmm.
um, thankfully, it's been what since 2018, so like 7 years of just attending those meetups,
Yeah.
and it's been great relationships. People know, hey, if Jose says that he can buy it for that, he can. He does take that stuff to the finish line. So it's your reputation, consistency of
Yeah.
just being active, right? Because it's not like in those local meetup groups, you see people that it's like a revolving door. They come in and they off they go, and you don't see them again for 3, 4 years.
Yep.
Well, people don't necessarily take those people seriously, right? It's just if you want to stick to it, right? Stick
Right.
with it. So for me, just having that local presence and then just performing, right? Like
Mhm.
I actually had a local meetup myself here, Spanish speaking only.
Nice.
So we had that for about a year, but with the baby, priorities, man. I'm like, okay,
Right.
something has to give. It's either
Right.
the rentals, the Airbnbs, the flips, or the family, or the meetup. And I'm like,
Yep.
okay, meetup is the one that's gonna be thrown on the back burner.
Yeah.
But I put that meetup together for a year, and I was hosting it, I was presenting, I was talking about the subjects. Proof of concept on that, showing that. So people in that meetup have uh, lent me money,
Right.
electricians, other local investors that they're like,
Yeah.
hey, say I have this money sitting. And I'm like, well, I'll put it to work. Even
Sure.
like guys, local subcontractors, like, hey, I got this, 30, 40, 50K grand just sitting there. I'm like, I can give you a better
Yeah.
return on your investment than the 0.001% that the bank gives you, you know?
Right. Yeah. So you mentioned the baby. I don't, your baby's a few months older than mine, I think, right? When was your baby born?
August. So it's he's 8 months going on 9.
Okay. All right. Yeah, my baby's 2 months old and his name is August. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
So,
crazy.
you had mentioned in the beginning, you did your 8 to 4, 8 to 5, and then it was like a 5 to midnight. Have you found that the skills required to do that and the discipline required to do that has carried over now into having a baby? I mean, because it kind of scaled up with you. Like in the beginning, you didn't have real estate, but you had your day job. So you had to go from nothing to something after the day job. Now you got a lot coming in, and now you have that extra work of being a dad. So it's kind of scaled in a way. Have you found a carryover in that skill, or has it been kind of seamless for you?
So for me, it's been, of course, an adjustment. A baby is definitely gonna throw another, something else into the
Yep.
equation that's gonna add complexity to it, right? So it's been an adjustment, but I feel like we waited, man. We waited quite a bit to have our baby, especially because like my wife wasn't doing her master's while I was doing my, 8 to 5 in real estate. So that's
Sure.
why like, it worked out, right? She was busy, I was super busy. We were both super busy, right? So it's like, okay, let's concentrate on getting these foundation parts done, and that's what we did. And now that we have our baby, it's actually been kind of nice because um, I'm trying to disconnect at 5 p.m. or
Uh,
4:30 or 4 p.m. and then just be with my baby, with my
mhm.
family. And that's been the nice part of it all. I think it's working out better than it was before, It's like I was super busy,
Yep.
super stressed in getting things done. And I started becoming that bottleneck for the projects, right? Because I'm like, I can save some money if I do this, if I do that. And now I've got a crew that basically takes
Mhm.
care of all of that stuff.
Sure.
The the main things that I do is just project coordination, like moving the crew between different job sites, and then materials is basically what I have to worry about, right? So if I can get that part done as quickly as possible, then I'm able to dedicate more time to my baby, right? Like
Yep.
he gets picked up at 9 a.m. from the house. So I don't have anything before 9 a.m.
Hmm.
And that's the beauty of it, right? Like I have the flexibility now
Right.
that like I don't do anything before 9 a.m. My
Cool.
baby, I'm with my baby till 9 a.m. I dress him, he gets picked up.
Yep.
My wife picks him up later in the day, and then I wait for them here at the house, and I get to chill with them. So
That's
it's nice, man.
yeah. I definitely have found too that you your extra time you get to put in, just those little random moments is like it's the quality of it's so much better now. At least
Yeah.
that's how it feels for me. Um, so okay, so since 2018, big growth. Um, with your current data that you are getting, are you doing the county thing? What's your inbound kind of strategies? What's your overall kind of marketing plan?
So my main thing has been local county data.
Okay.
Uh, so I basically grab my local county data fresh as possible,
Okay. Yep.
get that uploaded into REA Sift. I have my general contractor's license.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, that helps and facilitates a lot of these conversations because I guess you could say that my main target has been code violations.
Uh,
So when I load that data into the system, I call that data either myself or my assistant, and the conversation goes like, "Hey, I noticed there's a code violations on the property. I'm a general contractor. Also an investor. Just trying to see if I can help you on either side, you know?" So they don't. It's not as like, I want to buy your property. So it's more as how can I help,
yeah.
right? So I've bought a lot of code violations here locally because of that,
Okay.
and it's worked out quite a bit.
Okay. And then are you doing the mail? Are you doing any sort of, online PPC? What is there anything in that regard?
So no, I haven't done that. I do have like a carrier website that I've
Right.
had 2018. So
Yeah.
that's you could say I have some domain authority here locally,
Yeah.
and I have gotten leads through it. So it's worked, you know.
Yeah.
um, so I have my carrier website. I haven't done direct mail, but I've been super interested in doing and starting that now because of these portfolios, right? It's like uh, I've been super busy, but I like the inbound thinking. It's like if I can get them to call me, that's going to facilitate a lot of these things, right? So I've been exploring that, and in the war mastermind, I've
Yeah.
been having those conversations with them, and exploring those videos on how to get that set up. So I'll be putting something together on implementing direct mail locally.
Okay, cool. All right. And then, I haven't really asked you about your team. I know you have a crew. How big is your crew?
So I've got eight full-time employees that are helping me with the projects,
Yep.
and I've got an assistant that helps me with the rental, the property management side of things,
Okay.
as well as some of my my stuff, and my wife is the one that helps with the Airbnb messaging,
Okay.
the property management side of things too. So yeah, I guess you could say it's 10 of us or 11 of us, including me.
Okay. Yeah, dang. And as far as the crew, I think that's kind of I don't really know that I see a lot of conversation about that. Jaime's got a crew. Trying to think who else that I know of in the SIF community that has crews, but it seems like that's one of the big evolutions of a real estate company as it's growing. What was that like for you? What was the challenges behind that? And we'll probably kind of leave it off after that.
Yeah. So it was super stressful, man, taking that leap because it's the responsibility, right, of it. So now you're responsible for two people joining your team and, their families. They're relying on that weekly pay to be able to, keep a roof over their head, keep their bellies full. So it was a big responsibility, a big commitment. I was afraid of it, I was scared of it.
Really?
But you have to take it, you have to take it, especially once you start doing. Uh, I felt comfortable taking that leap once I got that first portfolio. I'm like, okay, I've got enough to keep these people
Sure.
busy for at least 6 months. So that gives me some runway, right?
Yep. Yep.
Uh, to bring in more deals, to keep them busy and all of that stuff, right? And as the other portfolios started coming in, I'm like, okay, now I gotta grab more people and gotta grab more people. And right now it's been working out super great because it gives me the flexibility to move them around, right? For example, on a flip, if the inspection comes back and the report says you need handrails, you need this little things here, this other little things there, I can just, pick the crew up, drop them over here, have them take care of that within one day,
Yep.
and then go back to the other project, right? Which to me, that's freaking awesome. With the rental portfolio, something happens, take them out of this project, put them over there for a day, bring them back in, which is great. But it's been stressful, man, because like I said, the accountability on my side. I gotta wake up and I gotta, go, 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 keep them busy, keep them busy, keep them
Yeah.
busy. What's the next thing? So in a way, it's kind of like a freaking like jet engine on the back that's pushing you to do more and do more and
Yeah.
do more. Yeah, but it's been great. They're great people. I have them in sets of two, so that way these guys are freaking great. Like they can do a little bit of everything:
Really.
plumbing, electrical, framing, drywall. So a set of two guys can basically handle a whole project, and then these other two can handle another whole project.
Dang.
So it's great, man. It has worked out pretty great. I've gotten lucky.
That's pretty cool, man. You said there's 8 guys on your crew?
So it's seven guys and
Seven.
one lady. Yeah,
Oh, team. Okay, that's fair.
yeah. A pair of the husband and wife,
Oh, that's awesome.
and they're freaking beasts, man. They go at it full throttle. Like I just dropped them off at a not literally dropped them
Yeah,
off
right, right.
at.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
They finished a flip in like 3 weeks. They went on to the next one. It's been a month and they're done with it. So it's like I
Dang.
gotta I gotta keep that stuff moving, man.
Yeah, they're waiting on you almost. Dang.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
cool. Well, hey man, I think this was super productive. I appreciate your time. I know you're rushing back from work to get here. I'm probably cutting off some work right now as we speak.
Mhm.
Um, what's before we head out, what's the rest of the year look like for you? What are you kind of looking forward to? What's to expect? And from 6, 7 months from now when we maybe have you back on, what should we be looking forward to?
Just I guess you could say stabilized portfolio. Hopefully, with all of this stuff, the first once you put a tenant in there, first months are kind of crazy. So just stabilize the portfolio, add more properties, potentially a little bit more flips, trying to get a little bit of more cash flow coming in. That cash machine that Tyler talks about, you need that on the side to be able to
Yep.
keep things moving, right? So maybe a little bit more flips, and then yeah, just a stabilized portfolio, increase the number of properties, and we're thinking about going somewhere for 2 months, working out of the country in
Oh,
a
nice.
nice location. We've done that before. As a software engineer, I had the flexibility of going somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So my wife took a sabbatical after her master's, and we were working from Mexico for 2 months before COVID hit, and then we had to like rush back before the borders closed.
And
But yeah, something like that, man. We're we're looking to do more traveling and then just enjoying and being more present.
that's cool, man. Well, thank you. I appreciate your time. And we look forward to having you back on in about 6, 7 months.